Kunle Amzat Studio, Akojopo 88.7 FM. Welcome to News Around the World.
Good evening and welcome to News Around the World on Akojopo 88.7 FM Ibadan, the most listened to radio station. I am Wuraola Yusuf. The headlines: IG says police will not be intimidated as force honors of fallen officers. Oyo acting governor sympathizes with traders over market fire, pledges support. Zelensky calls on allies to cover fund gap for air defense needs. United States Treasury to broaden scope of secondary sanctions on Iran. Amusa, Ajayi, Ezekiel lead Nigeria's charge toward athletics ultimate championship. And now the details. The Inspector General of Police IGP Olasoji Disu has said that the Nigerian police force remains resolute and committed its constitutional responsibility of protecting lives and property. IGP Disu said this today in Abuja during a memorial parade held in honor of 10 Nigerian Police Special Intervention Squad SIS officers who were attacked and killed by suspected bandits in Kebbi, saying the officers paid the supreme price in service to the nation during a fierce encounter with suspected bandits on 10th of August. According to the IGP, the sacrifice of the fallen men was not in vain, as no fewer than 17 of the suspected bandits were neutralized and 4 motorcycles belonging to them were destroyed. IGP Disu further assured Nigerians that the force will continue to work with the armed forces, sister security agencies, state government and communities to confront banditry, terrorism and other forms of criminality threatening the nation. The acting governor of Oyo State, Barrister Abdurrahim Adebayo Lawal, has congratulated the Muslim Ummah in the state and across Nigeria on the occasion of this year's Eid al-Mawlud, a special festival commemorating the birth of Prophet Muhammad. In a statement issued and signed by the Special Advisor on Media to the Governor, Dr. Sulaiman Olariwaju, today, the acting governor called on Muslims to imbibe the timeless lessons of peace, unity, humility, compassion and tolerance, which form the core of the Prophet's teachings and the exemplary life he led. Barrister Lawal also expressed appreciation to the Muslim community in Oyo State for their steadfast support for the administration of Governor Seyi Makinde over the past 7 years. Meanwhile, the acting governor of Oyo State, Barrister Adebayo Lawal, has expressed a heartfelt sympathy to traders and residents affected by the recent fire outbreak at Toronyo Market, Ibadan, Oyo State capital. This was contained in a statement released today by the Special Advisor on Media to the Governor, Dr. Sulaiman Olariwaju, and made available to newsmen in Ibadan, where Barrister Lawal described the incident as a tragic loss that has disrupted the livelihoods of hard-working traders and caused significant hardship to families. The acting governor further stated that the government is committed to restoring the market and implementing preventive measures to avert further occurrences, while urging traders and residents to remain calm and hopeful. In the same vein, the Oyo State government has assured shop owners who lost their goods and property in the fire incident at the Jankara Arobo Market on Oyo Ibadan that no stone will be left unturned in providing the necessary intervention and support to cushion the effects of their losses. The acting governor of the state, Barrister Bayo Lawal, gave the assurance during his assessment visit to the scene of the incident. Addressing the affected property owners and traders, Barrister Lawal described the level of destruction as huge, but expressed gratitude to God that no life was lost at the incident. The acting governor also explained that the purpose of the visit was to obtain first-hand information from the market's leadership and the number of stores, shops, and traders affected, with a view to facilitating assistance from both the Oyo State and the federal governments. It was a devastating loss of goods and property as fire engulfed the Gold and Ashoki section of Iroyin Market in Ibadan yesterday evening. Eyewitnesses say the cause of the fire remains unknown, but noted that firefighters arrived swiftly to contain the blaze, while victims were left counting their losses and wondering how to begin again. Amid the chaos, Akojopo FM news correspondent was on ground to bring the full report. Akojopo Iroyin brings the details.
Panic and sorrow gripped Iroyin Market in Ibadan yesterday evening after flames broke out in the Gold and Ashoki section, turning a busy trading hub into a scene of loss. The incident threw traders and residents into panic as people ran in different directions trying to save lives and protect their goods. Eyewitnesses said they could not confirm what caused the fire or the exact time it started. However, calls were quickly made to the appropriate authorities through different channels. As the fire continued to spread, the Oyo State Fire Service Agency responded swiftly to the scene to prevent further damage. Speaking with Akojopo FM News, officials of the agency explained how they received the distress call and the steps taken to contain the outbreak.
So the fire has been burned more than an hour before they called fire service agency. But when we get there, we notice that there is no access route. If you also look at the plan of the geographic plan of this place, you see that there is no access route. In fact, we park our vehicle 100 meters before we can gain access to where the fire was burning. So, but now we see that we've already extinguished the fire, and then we are able to save a lot of shops here.
The incident has left many traders counting heavy losses in goods and property. Victims now lament how they will recover and cope, especially in the current economic situation. Another valuable loss, another community forced to mourn, not just property, but the years of property that went into it, just after the few months families are recovering at the Bode fire incident. Akojopo Iroyin, Akojopo FM News.
You're welcome. And now it is time to link up with our United Kingdom studio for the foreign news.
News from Pelu Studio, Akojopo FM, United Kingdom. I am Olushola Damilola. Reform UK Party are set to unveil fresh plans to restrict eligibility for social housing with in-work British nationals to be prioritized. In addition to their commitment to fully evict foreign nationals from social housing, the party promised to prioritize British-born workers under the age of 35 for available properties, with married couples with children and veterans going to the front of the queue, while underlining their pledge to limit social housing only for British citizens. The party believes social housing should not be a reward for welfare. They claim the existing pledge to evict foreign nationals entirely will free up around 540,000 social homes. UK Prime Minister Andy Boham has promised to continue providing defense aid to war-torn Ukraine despite Russia's outrageous threat to United Kingdom. Ukraine is hosting a meeting of its key European backers to press air defense supplies and more pressures on Moscow. European leaders joined President Volodymyr Zelensky earlier today in Kyiv for official celebration marking Ukraine's Independence Day as Russia pushes on with its 4-year-old invasion of the country. And that ends the news from Pelu Studio at Akojopo FM, United Kingdom. I am Olushola Damilola.
Now it is time to link up with our Maryland studio, United States, for more foreign news.
News from Kule Amzat Studio, Akojopo FM, United States. I am Oluwatosin Sonya. Pakistan's army chief was in Tehran on Monday on a mediation mission as the United States prepared to launch what Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent described as the greatest financial offensive ever against Iran and its trading partners. Iran dismissed the U.S. threat, warning that it would halt all oil export from the Gulf if what it called an economic war continued. Tehran also issued a fresh warning to shipping companies, saying vessels should not transit the Strait of Hormuz without Iranian permission. It identified 45 ships it claimed had violated its rules and threatened retaliation against any vessels involved in ship-to-ship transfers with them. Benson said the administration would unveil sweeping new measures against Iran during a 1 p.m. press conference on Monday, adding that the measures marked the beginning of an economic D-Day, calling them the most significant financial offensive ever mounted against the U.S. adversary. President Donald Trump's administration on Monday released the proposed regulation that would make permanent an unprecedented $103,265,000 fee on new H-1B visas for highly skilled foreign workers, a measure that has been blocked by the court. Trump first imposed the fee on a temporary basis last year, sharply increasing the cost of H-1B visas widely used by employers in the technology, education, and research sectors. In June, a federal judge ruled that the fee was unlawful and barred the administration from collecting it. The decision is now under review by a Boston-based appeals court, while a separate court is considering whether another judge properly rejected a challenge brought by a major business group. The temporary fee increase is set to expire in September, 1 year after it was introduced. The proposed rule, issued by the U.S. Department of Homeland Security and published it in the Federal Register on Monday, would establish the $103,265,000 fee on a permanent basis. The regulation could be finalized by the end of the year. And that ends the news from Hamzat Studio, Agidigbo FM, United States. I am Oluwatosin Sonya.
And now the exciting world of sports. Nigeria is set for a strong representation at the inaugural World Athletics Ultimate Championship with a number of the country's leading athletes, including Tobi Amusan, Konyosola Ajayi, Nathaniel Ezekiel, and Samuel Ogazi, preparing to compete in Budapest, Hungary, from September 11 to 13, 2026. The three-day championship, to be held at the National Athletics Center, will bring together Olympic champions, world champions, Diamond League winners, and the leading performers of the 2026 season in a new global competition designed to crown the ultimate champions in track and field. Nigeria's athletes are currently qualified for the championship include Amusan, Ajayi, Ezekiel, Ogazi, and Onoju Vevo, while other athletes will have the opportunity to secure qualification before the deadline of September 2. For Nigeria, the championship represents an important opportunity for an emerging generation led by Ajayi and Ogazi to test themselves against the world's best alongside established stars such as Amusan and Ezekiel. To wrap up the news this evening, here is a recap of the headlines. IG says the police will not be intimidated as force honors fallen officers. Oyo acting governor sympathizes with traders over market fire, pledges support. Zelensky calls on allies to cover fund gap for air defense needs. United States Treasury to broaden scope of secondary sanctions on Iran. Amusan, Ajayi, Ezekiel lead Nigeria's charge to World Athletics Ultimate Championship.
Don't forget that you can listen to us live on our website www.agidigbo88.7fm.com. You can also download our mobile app on Google Play Store and iOS. Simply search for Agidigbo 88.7 FM. Follow us on Facebook at Agidigbo 88.7 FM, on Twitter and Instagram at Agidigbo 887 FM, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. If you have news stories and tips for us, contact our newsroom on 070-8714-4865 or send us a mail on newsroom@agidigbo887fm.com.
And before we go this evening, here is a quick tip. The struggle you are in today develops the strength you need tomorrow. Finally, we have come to the end of the news around the world on Agidigbo 88.7 FM Ibadan, the most listened to radio station. I am Wuraola Yusuf. Thank you for listening. Good evening.
News is information, and information is power. At Agidigbo 88.7 FM. We bring the news from top to bottom.
The Oyo State Independent Electoral Commission (OISEC) has called for continuous collaboration.
We bring you reports from Oyo State.
The Oyo State House of Assembly has called for thorough investigation.
Southwest Nigeria and the rest of the world.
Has clarified that the body did not receive any cash support from international development.
Trust us to keep you informed every hour, every day.
Agidigbo